Hey, what's happening, folks? I was gonna make this a live one, but I don't think I'm gonna make it a live one. I'm just gonna do the little upload. But today I wanted to talk to y'all. Y'all know this channel is geared towards people with families and helping out and things of that nature. But for the most part, I'm about educating. I'm about giving my experiences to other people, so it may help them through some things in life. And above all, this channel is for my kids. I know that my kids are gonna be able to go back and reference a lot of things that I say and a lot of teachings that I give, because trust me, everything that I talk to y'all about, I talk to my kids about, and they are 12, two 10-year-olds. I have a boy and a girl set, and I have a 7-year-old, and I talk to them about all of this stuff. So they're very well knowledgeable in everything that I'm saying to you. So you're gonna come along with me while I'm taking my steps. I'm walking. And what I wanted to talk about today is changing your mind. Changing your mind is going to have immense impact on you and your family's life. It's going to change the way you look at things. It's going to change the way you operate. It's going to change the people that are attracted to you. And I don't mean attraction as in a sexual thing. I mean attracted around you, like come to you, to be in your circle, to be friends with you, to network, business partners, things like that. It's going to change what you want to do to be successful. It's going to change your goals, your dreams, and your ambitions. All of that stuff happens when you begin to change your mindset. Now, I know a whole bunch of people have told you this, a whole bunch of YouTube channels speak on this topic, things of that nature, but maybe there's a different way that you need to hear it, and I'm pretty much not going to say everything. So one thing from my own personal life is that I grew up in Virginia, and contrary to popular belief, the part of Virginia that I grew up in was very bigoted. Not necessarily racist, because racial stuff or injustice or racial bias, that has to do with systemic oppression and things of that nature. It has nothing to do with individual people who just don't like you. So bigotry is really big where I'm from, and I'm from Norfolk. And we call it the Seven Cities, one of the 7 cities in Virginia. So I grew up with a certain type of mindset, a mindset to be very aggressive, to fight, not necessarily fuss, but be aggressive. So if you said something I didn't like, it's quick to punch you in your face, which is a bad thing. I also grew up with a negative outlook on white people and whatnot. And as I got older and I began going out into the world through playing basketball and football, I began to see different ethnicities and cultures of people. And those ethnicities and cultures changed the way I looked at a lot of people. Now, why do I say changing your mindset, what this is about? Because once it changed my mind on that all of these people weren't bad, and it was just select people that I was dealing with, it enabled me to meet some of the greatest people I've ever met in my life that weren't my same color. And that changed my life ultimately. It led to me being able to see things in a way that I needed to see them in order to be successful, in order to keep myself out of trouble. You know what I mean? Because I was headed down a dark path. And a lot of the people that share your color sometimes aren't the best people for you. And it just depends on your mindset. And if your mindset is of theirs and they're detrimental, then 9 times out of 10, you're going to start destroying the things around you because they do. So what I want to talk to you about and tell you is that you need to change your mind to this mindset here. I don't know anything. I'm willing to learn everything. And even as I'm learning, I still won't know everything I need to know about that said topic or subject or area. Always have a mindset and a spirit of being teachable. Never think you know it. Even if you can teach, you still don't know everything, because there's always a microcosm of things that change that very subject. There's always a couple of anomalies in that set of situations, or that set of factors that cause a problem. So a person may be an introvert. But they're not an introvert because they were abused as a child or because they had bad relationships. They're an introvert because they don't feel like they're a good public speaker. And the person that they admire articulate things very well. And it may just be that simple, or it may be complex. And you'll never know, until you get to talking to this person and starting to learn. Another thing that changing your mindset to that will be the always teachable spirit and mindset is that you'll be able to listen to the heart of what people are saying and not listen to their words. Sometimes words are placed in the wrong fashion and the meaning gets misinterpreted when you're focused solely on the words instead of looking at the person's body language, what they're trying to convey to you, and what type of person they are as you know them, like their character. And when you can set that aside, this is how relationships last. This is how husband and wives stay together for 20, 30, 40 years, because they're able to see past that person's frustration and listen to the heart of what they're saying. Oh, honey, I understand that you're worried about my well-being. And you arguing with me is because sometimes anger replaces fear. And until you understand things like that, you really have a hard time communicating with people because communication is key. But you can't communicate with people until you change your mindset. Because if you don't change your mindset to what I just said, being teachable and things of that nature, then your mindset is going to be stuck in this little box of people. And one thing I like about, because I do read the Bible, one thing I like about the Bible is it says, one can put 10,000 to flight. One. So I stopped right there. One can put 10,000 to flight. And to me, that means there are 10,000 other people that are just like you. Maybe not in your neighborhood, but in this world, in this United States, there are 10,000 other people that share your same thought process. Now, what if you change your mindset from what you have to what you want? Then there's 10,000 more people on that other end. And acceptance is one of those things that we as human beings were always fighting for acceptance. We're always fighting for acceptance. People be like, oh, I don't care what nobody thinks. Your whole life is based on what somebody thinks. When you're trying to graduate from college, it's what they think about your reports that you write. When you're trying to get a job, it's what they think about you as a person and your qualifications. When you're trying to get a spouse, it's what that person thinks about you as a person, your character. It's what your mom thinks about you. When you're trying to open up a business, it's what they think about you as a person on whether or not they're going to patronize your business. So our whole lives are fashioned around what people think about you. So don't let nobody tell you, oh, I don't care what nobody thinks. They're just saying that because they don't care what you think and they're trying to be rude to you. And then there it is. That's when the words that I just told you about start to add up and their heart is not in the right place. So what you got to understand from there is that person does care about what you think about them. Because if not, one, they wouldn't be arguing with you. Two, they wouldn't have said they don't care about what you think in the first place. What that is a barrier. That is a wall that they're putting up because they don't want you to get close to them. They have an issue with relationships. And changing your mindset to a teachable mindset. I was taught to learn how to read certain people. And as I began to apply these teachings to the outside world, I got to see that a good 80%, and that's just a rough number, that's not a fact, a good 80% of the people that I come in contact with don't know how to use words to articulate anything. Everything that they do is emotional and body language. So the words that come out of their mouth, some of it's okay, some of it's not. But I listen to their heart. So what I want to tell you is, if you have that bigoted mindset that you can only be for your people, and if you have that bigoted mindset that you can only be for this type of culture and you can't expand to nothing else, that's fine. You can stay in that mindset, but you're going to have a hard time when you try to expand or when you try to get to some goals that reach beyond where you're at. My advice to you is change your mindset. Be teaching so that you can gain knowledge and wisdom and you can apply it in your life and make it a better life. Yeah, have a good day.